All right, welcome back. It's Good Vibes time, and we have Debbie Cox DeNova with us again, and we're going to be bringing up a new topic. When I was reading over my notes, peaceful productivity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't wait to hear about this. How do you do? Yeah, because I guess when you're trying to be productive, it can be stressful. So how do you keep the peace while you're doing it?
Yes, it can definitely be stressful. And even thinking about it creates stress in the mind, right? When you think about being productive, what a lot of us think and associate that with is like grinding and hustling and filling up all of our times. And that can be very stress inducing, and it actually can keep you from actually being productive because the brain will put stops on you moving forward to something that feels uncomfortable. So I want to talk today about productivity that feels good, that feels peaceful. You're actually moving forward, but you're also feeling good because it's all about the journey, right? There was a survey that was done by Microsoft, and they found that in the average 45-hour work week, that people waste about 17 hours per week of time within their work week. So how can we reclaim some of this time? There's some great research on it, so I want to share. And there's a lot to it, but the main thing, first of all, is just to get started. So a lot of people feel like they have to feel motivated in order for them to step into productivity. And research actually shows that it's the opposite. You start feeling motivated and you start feeling better when you start. You get to take advantage of a construct of the mind called the Zeigarnik effect. And that just means that when you start something, the mind wants to finish it, right? So you get these intrusive thoughts when you don't finish something. You feel like I have to go. Have you ever started a book and it just keeps kind of pulling you back? And so the Zeigarnik effect is actually something that can pull you through once you start. Don't wait for the motivation, just get started.
So let me ask you this, because I know about the task and trying to organize the task, but I can do 10 different things a day, and I'm eventually going to finish them all, but I'm going to finish them at my own pace, and I'm going to juggle them, and I'm going to do different things. But I could sit down and watch a series on Netflix in one night. If I'm really in like Yellowstone or Ozark or whatever, I could watch it and I'm locked in. But when I come to work, we have so many different stores and so many different aftermath items. We're always juggling.
Yes. So it's important to know, especially when you're at high performance at work, that those times of decompression are really important. So you watching Ozark could be you recharging and refueling, and just as important for you, the rest and recovery, which again, culturally, a lot of us are receiving the message that it's not okay to rest. You know, we'll sleep when we're dead, go hard or go home. And the reality is that life is a series of ebbs and flows. And so on the days where we have low energy, oftentimes there's a signal trying to come through that we're working and pushing too hard, and that there needs to be scheduled in some maybe Ozark time if that is what decompresses you. But you have to be very careful about what you actually fill those times with, because certain things will rejuvenate you and other things will deplete you more or keep you in that blah phase. So for example, you just want to evaluate if you're using your downtime to Facebook and it doesn't feel quite good and you come out of it not feeling recharged or rejuvenated, it's better to fill that break time with activities that are actually going to renew you. So exercise, light exercise, or talking with a friend, or learning something will bring you back online so that you're fresh for work.
And also, you got to choose the times of the days, and everybody's different. I like to get to work somewhere around 6:30, and have that 1 or 1.5 hours of downtime when the crew's not around. It seems like I get more done in that 1 hour time period, because when everything starts, you're like an air traffic controller. So, but that 1 hour of peace in the valley is very instrumental.
Yes, and that's really good. That speaks to timing. It's really important to understand your own rhythms and to prioritize your time well. So research by Jennifer Ackerman shows that the highest level of productivity comes about 2.5 to 4 hours after waking on average, but it really goes according to circadian rhythms. And we're all built differently. So what they're showing now is that morning people are genetically morning people, and night owls, like myself, are genetically night owls. I spent so much time pushing against my whole night owl ways, but literally every single thing that I've ever created, my productive hours have come late at night. It's important for me to know that so that I can time my days well. So you can make a list of tasks that you have to do in the week and in the day, and then prioritize it based on when it would actually be the best, because a lot of us are depleting our best resources. We don't have an unlimited battery on our prefrontal cortex, right? So we want to use our freshest energies for the things that matter the most, that are going to be leveraged action, that will move our day, our weeks, and our life forward and make them easier and make them more productive. So if you know that you're a morning person, prioritizing the most important things during those times, and maybe like not checking emails or not being on Facebook, because unfortunately a lot of people will use their freshest and best energies to fritter away and do these things that don't really matter in the end.
Yeah, when I check my notes, of course, on the phone, when you go to your notes and you write notes, I bet you 95% of my notes are between 6 and 8 in the morning.
Yeah, there you go.
Because when you have an idea and you go, wow, or you want to write a song, or you want to,
Yeah.
that's the time it hits.
Absolutely.
Everybody's different, though.
Everybody is different, but front-loading your priorities in the day and in the week are really, really important. Use your fresh energy for the things that matter the most.
Chewing gum can be good.
This is one of my favorite productivity hacks. It really is.
Really?
Yeah. So there's some research from St. Lawrence University on 150 students that found that in a series of tests, the students who chewed gum versus those who didn't actually performed better on the test. It actually increases your focus. It actually increases your performance time by up to 10%. It reduces stress. It increases wakefulness. Lab tests show that physiologically it actually will lower your cortisol and actually reduce the experience of stress and anxiety in the body, chewing gum.
Is that because of the muscles in the jaw controlling things, or is it just because the chewing mechanism takes you or puts you in a rhythm?
Yeah, they found that the chewing actually arouses the brain. And so so if you want, you can create a chewing gum bar. This actually comes from Vanessa Van Advert. She says, create a chewing gum bar, you know, with the watermelon and all the different flavors. Offer it to people in your workspace who are low on energy. Chew some yourself, because it is actually a productivity hack that is backed by research.
Okay, well, let me throw a clog in that. Let me let you. What about beef jerky or something like that?
Well, maybe beef jerky, but if you're looking to manage your weight, then probably eating something all day long probably wouldn't be the best strategy. I know that is a strategy that some people do use.
Just chewing a piece of leather.
Or that, yes.
Yeah. But no, that's interesting, because, you know, we're always taught, especially in class, not to chew gum.
Right.
Matter of fact, when we went to Vanderbilt, you didn't chew gum in the brothers class. You didn't chew gum in any class.
Yeah.
But there's research that it increases productivity.
Yeah, so especially for students who have focus issues, if it's allowable, chewing gum can actually help them to focus in on what they're doing.
I'm sure some of the principals are watching and going, oh my God, they're opening up the door for students to chew gum. What are some other things that people, we talked a little bit about, you know, if you're a morning person, or some people don't wake up till 9 or 10. And I don't get it, because my best times, my most relaxed times are in the morning, especially on weekends. I'm out in the yard 6 o'clock piddling on something. I'm a piddler. My dad was a piddler.
Yeah.
But other people, they go, why are you up? Because they can be okay at 9 o'clock getting up. I feel like I've blown the day.
Yeah, yeah. So again, this goes back to your chronotype, or when your your most wakeful cycles are, and they're finding that this is a genetic thing. So if you are a morning person, you're naturally inclined to be awake. I guess primitively, this makes a lot of sense, because people like me, you would need somebody to be awake to watch the fire, watch out for predators as people are sleeping. And that's how I always feel. It's like, well, I would be watching for predators right now. And even if I'm exhausted during the day, as soon as the moon comes up, I'm awake. Now I have a question for you. There was a study that was done on 44,000 participants, and they looked at a number of productivity strategies to see which would be the best one. Of the ones they looked at, there was self-talk, so talking yourself into a productive place, imagery, which is like that visualization of the end goal, and then if-then scenarios. If I get this accomplished, then I get to have this. Of those 3 strategies, what do you think that the research found was the most productive?
Mine would be the visualization.
Okay, yours would be the visualization. What they found is that most people were most productive with self-talk. So this is a strategy that you can use right before you approach your work. And when you're being productive, you have to kind of vacillate between like your big goal, and you don't have to have a big goal, but a lot of people like to build into a big goal, and then, as we talked about last time, create your action steps to that, right? But you want to think small, because you want to get past the stress response that is associated with taking on too big of a task, right? So no more than 20-minute chunks. If it can't fit within 20 minutes, then you need to break it down even more. But right before you go into your action steps, you can actually talk yourself into, okay, all right, we are going to get this done. We're going to do such a great, this is going to be so amazing. I'm going to do such a great job. And you're talking yourself into success around the smaller chunk of action. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And what they found is that is highly effective for increasing productivity above all of the other strategies.
But I've also found throughout my career that the things that used to put fear in me early on in my career don't move me anymore. You have to up the ante now on products, on productivity, on accomplishing something. The things that used to say, wow, I did that, they no longer move you. So you got to move the ball.
Absolutely. And you have to remember that the most important voice in your head always is yours, right? So if you're self-talking, and you got to manage that, because negativity bias, again, is a thing, so it's automatically going negative oftentimes. So if you're self-talking yourself in a positive way, then you are actually managing your action and your activity. And the other thing is that you want to make sure that you are front-loading and prioritizing what they call domino action. So the one thing that can create a catalyst effect across your week and make things easier, move you forward in your goal. What's the one thing that you can do today, the one thing that you can do over the week, the month, the year, and a lifetime that is that you're most passionate about, that's going to make the most difference, and that's going to give you the most fulfillment?
Yeah, my dad, I remember during the pump, pass, and kick competition one year, I told him, Dad, I don't know if I can beat that guy. And he bought a plaque that says, you can if you think you can.
I love that.
And it sticks in my head. But right after this show, I'm going to buy a pack of gum.
Yep, perfect.
All right, Debbie, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Debbie Cox, the Nova Good Vibes. We'll see her again next week.